Hey, good morning. Good morning. It's the Daily Drawing Club. If you're watching this on replay, make sure you comment and say what's up in the comments. We're going to do a drawing challenge today, like we do every day. Today's drawing challenge, let's just get right to it. We are going to draw some shoes. Probably not the most exciting thing to draw today, but this is good practice because a lot of people struggle with feet. Well, more people struggle with shoes. So I've just put some random reference shoes together here, and I'm gonna sketch through some shoes this morning, make up my own shoes, kind of just study the design of tennis shoes, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. So let's jump right into that. Hey guys, in the live chat, let's see who's there. Guy, Steph, morning Dan, morning Sarah, Sydney, Colin, good morning. Glad you finally made it, Colin. Bad done well. What's up? All right, so I'm gonna set my timer. I'm setting my timer for 30 minutes. I might not draw 30 minutes of shoes, but we're gonna talk some shoes today. We got the Dunk Lows there from Nike. We'll start there. We'll just start with that, I think. Yeah, people struggle with shoes. I know it's one of those things where people skip feet a lot of times, but also you skip the feet, you skip the shoes, or when you draw shoes, it's like a very not great shoe. So I'm not gonna look. I was gonna take a look back at some of my old art, but switch this to red so you can see it more on the stream. All right, good. Go to that view here. So for me, I'm just gonna look at these Dunk Lows here from Nike. It doesn't really matter what the shoe is, you know. This is kind of in the fundamentals bracket, I'd say, because you know you're thinking of when I'm thinking of the. I'm gonna talk through my thinking as I'm drawing. We are gonna draw a foot. Let's just draw a basic foot. We got the toes. Maybe one's a little bit longer than the other. Little pinky toe. You've got the ankle bone there. Probably not the most anatomically correct foot, but you know, you got it. A lot of people don't like to draw feet. So, but let's say that's the foot. So I'm always thinking of like, all the shoe is like a container for the foot. Right? So if we're looking at that and like, I'm gonna change the color here to like blue. Do that. Oh, perfect. And then I'm just thinking of like these planes of the foot. So that's one plane. This is another plane. That's the tip. So it kind of becomes a container of the foot, if that makes sense. The heel's a little bit. Right. It's already a wood block shoe. But that's kind of like what I'm trying. That's what I think if you don't see this as an artist yet, you will. Like you'll just see it in your mind. You won't need to really construct, you know, that cube every time or those fundamental shapes. But like you're trying to see this in your mind when you take a snapshot of a foot. Right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna just erase that. Just wanted to demonstrate like a little bit how I see it. So if I'm gonna start a shoe like this, I might start with just the basic idea of, you know, a foot. When I draw a foot shape, I'm just gonna draw like a long shape like that. And then I'm gonna kind of just go along with, draw a few different shoes here in the next half an hour, but let's just draw these Dunk Lows that are right here. And again, I'm going to use my rule of like, I don't want to get too far in the details of the shoe. I just want to look at the basic construction of this shoe. because then you can make up shoes out of your mind. Brain, mind shoes. So we always have the sole. It's kind of by itself, you see. We're just studying like the sole is always by itself. And then there's that plane on the top. And usually I'll just I'll show you like how I whip up shoes real quick. They're not the best shoes, but that's why we're practicing. So then you got this, like, what would they call it? Like adornment leather pattern thing. On most shoes have that. Got a little lip on the back of the shoe there. I'm trying to be like, simplifying it. What are the basic shapes of the design of a tennis shoe? And I'm going to draw a dress shoe too here, kind of show the difference. I think something that we fall into as artists, especially cartoonists or comic book artists, is we learn to draw one shoe and then we just draw the same shoe over and over again. I'm just going to go ahead and shade that in. Not that I need to, but there's a little Nike shoe there. But yeah, we fall into that rut of drawing the same type of shoe over and over again. In comic books, you might just draw, a foot, and then just like put like a sole on it, and and then call it a day. But that's not really a shoe, right? So, getting something a little sketchier, to where when you see it from a distance, you go, "That's a Dunk Low," or "That's a Converse." So let's like try to. How am I going to do this here? Let me get rid of this Dunk Low here. Yep. I'm going to cut and paste this. I want to keep those dunks. All right, so next in line would be, do I have these on another sheet? I thought I did. I didn't put them in here. A little easier for me to use my reference board here. This is a program called VizRef. If you're on the iPad, if you're not, don't worry about it. This is just me making it easy for myself. Insert photos, recent photos. I know I had a bunch of these shoes here. Bye. See you later. Allie's on her way to work. Her first day on her new job. So congrats. Congrats, Allie. She finally got a job. After a long time of going through multiple interviews and stuff. Ugh. Okay, cool. So now I could just pull up in that reference right beside this. And that way I can move this around, if that makes sense. And I could kind of just keep my canvas whatever size I want. Over here. Oh boy. All right. I want to keep the shoes that I drew in one layer. Cut and paste. Cut and paste. We'll have a collection of shoes here in a minute. Courtney Buchanan says, "Yo, I'm self-published my own comic." Great. That's awesome. What's the comic about? Tell them in the chat. Let's talk about your comic. All right, cool. So now I got a little bit bigger canvas here, and I can zoom in on. I want to find out Chuck Taylor's on here. I know I got them. There we go. Some Converse, right? So these are fun to draw, anyways. So now we're thinking of a high top. You know, they always got those. Again, probably just the sole is by itself, you see? Always has that. Ooh, that's really thick. Platform Converse. I've seen some kids wearing them. And again, this is just practice, you know? There's like that weird little lip of rubber on the Converse right there. And we want to get really detailed. I'm just penciling today. I'm not going to do any inks because I'm just trying to basically practice shoes today and talk about practice a little bit as well. Like the idea of leaning into what you're not good at. I wouldn't say I'm not good at shoes because I can draw some shoes, you know. See there, I've already messed this up a little bit because like this lip doesn't go down over like that. That's not how that shoe is constructed over here. So if I'm getting a little bit more detailed of just studying how a Converse is a little bit thicker rubber right there. And then maybe I put the hump wrong. It actually comes right off of that. And then we got a little thing, and then this little rubber tab is more towards here. The rubber tab. So I'm kind of using that marker there. And then that line and how far apart they are. I'm just kind of like marking for my own sketch where those things are. And this is a very low resolution picture of a shoe too, because I'm not really worried about drawing a realistic shoe, especially since I'm just practicing and cartooning here. See, I just messed that up too because I want it. My inclination is to go like that. But what's going on this shoe is that line is actually going to this point here. Right here. So my mind shoe is going somewhere else. It actually goes to that point. That's where the sew is. And then from in there, we got to go these little two holes here, little breathing holes, as you call it. And then now a whole line there. We've got the rivets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Top hole doesn't have no string on the top hole. And these people lace their shoes different ways, so I'm not really too worried about that. You don't even really see that crisscross on this one, but basically, again, if I'm overthinking it a little bit as I'm drawing it, I just want to, as a cartoonist or an artist, I want to capture the likeness of a shoe to where if I zoom out on this, I'm like, oh, he's wearing Converse, you know, like that's kind of the idea of the practice part. Because if you don't practice it, you're just going to end up reverting back to drawing some lame ass looking shoes. Courtney says, I'm going to put more effort into my shoes. Listen, we all, comic artists especially, we're really phoning it in with our shoes. Or, you know, we don't really get a chance to draw. A lot of comics are cut off at the waist, you know, or headshots. So let's try these. Those are similar to the Nikes. You can see like every Nike has pretty much the same look. So once you know how to draw a Nike tennis shoe, you know, I'm just gonna do another quick one here. I'm gonna draw the sole line. That's how I approach it a little bit. We're just drawing solitary shoes. I should probably draw some shoes on like real feet. I'll do that in a second. I still got some time here, 16 minutes. Plenty of time to draw some shoes. And I can go way faster than this. I'm just kind of walking through to show you, like, once you know how that Nike looks, you can get pretty loose with your sketch, and it still feels like, it's a Dunk Low or it's a Air Force One. You got to draw some hip kids, or not hip kids wearing their, I believe this is an Air Force One because it's got these holes. So study shoes and kind of get to know, like, there's difference between those New Balance shoes up there and these Nikes. That's a quick Nike, probably Air Force One. Let's go. These New Balance, like, they kind of like, see the soles are way different. You can't just get away with this crap anymore. You gotta really, like, get in there with like a heel kind of thing going on. Tennis shoes just have a lot of design going on them. Notice in comic books there's a lot of boots and a lot of things, and that's fine because it's like, part of the things about drawing comics is that you got a lot of pages to draw. So if you were to draw like 15,000 pairs of New Balance tennis shoes here, you would want to shoot yourself or something. You don't want that. So, like, you see that there's a lot more to this shoe. But if I were to simplify it and make it seem like there's a lot more going on than there is, I'm just going to get that heel right. Split that heel with like another little line here and there. They got a lot going on this shoe. They were like, whatever shoe designer was like, we need to outdo Nike. We need to have more swooshes coming in. I'm just going to put the N on the side here, even though it's not the perfect New Balance. It doesn't matter. Again, like, I'm just going to go fast because I'm showing you that I don't really care as far as, like, I'm just studying. Even if I do this just for 10 minutes, I'm studying how this shoe is constructed. Look at that dip there. That's interesting. That's different than the other shoes. A little bit different than the other shoes there. It's got a really pronounced dip there. So it's almost like, you're studying. Shoes are cool because you're going to study the fundamentals of, like, shapes, but then you're also doing a little bit of life drawing when you're looking at stuff like this, and not perfect. You're timed. I've timed myself for half an hour here, and Steph limited herself to 10 a.m. Let's see what she did. I'm going to go ahead and, there goes my, inside of our, got terms of service. All right. We have the Discord for the Daily Drawing Club members here. I think the Discord's free. There should be a link to it somewhere, but yesterday was Wonka Dune, so lots of awesome Wonka Dunes. Look at this. Nice. All right. Steph did these shoes in 10 minutes. Good shoes. Ooh, Vans. Nice. Let's take another look at that. She drew good. High heels. And there's just like a variety of shoes to draw from. So looking through here real quick. Cyclops. That's a good Cyclops. There you see rolled Cyclops as well. All right, back to my shoes. I like to draw the tennis shoes. I think I lean to these tennis shoes because I probably struggle with them the most in comics. Like, I don't put enough shoes on people. But let's see here. We're gonna do these floppers here. Now we could see some serious. I'm just going to draw that shape as I'm seeing it, like the big, thick, goth girl shoes. Well, I'll say. I've got a couple fun shoe stories if you want to hear them while I'm drawing these shoes. One is I'm thinking of these high platforms here. Sonny Bono, Sonny and Cher. You might not know them if you're too young, but Sonny Bono was the mayor of Palm Springs when I lived there when I was a teenager. And there was a really terrible car accident with Girl Scouts up on the mountain, and he was at the hospital. I was volunteering at the hospital at the time, and he showed up for like a press conference or to meet the girls in the ER or whatever, the ICU. And he gets off, like a helicopter flew in to the hospital wherever he was coming from, and he gets out, and I look down at his feet, and he's wearing platform shoes, like really thick. I'll draw Sonny Bono shoes here in a minute. It'll be great. And it was just jarring to me because besides Gene Simmons, wearing like giant Kiss boots, I'd never seen anything like that in my life in person. So it was very like he had something like where is it? I thought it was on here, but it's not. No, I'm just going to draw them from my memory, my recall. He had these dress shoes, or they were not like dress shoes. They were like, come on, man, why is this not working now? Yeah, so he was very short. Why is this not working? Come on, man. Oh, did I change the size of it? Yep, that's what I did. Whoops. Yeah, so Sonny Bono was very short. And not only that, he would wear these shoes that look like this. That's his foot. They were kind of like dress shoes a little bit. So they had like a little bit of a, point, more of a point to them. And then, no kidding you, they were like Gene Simmons shoes. They probably added 6 inches of, and it was, I think the thing that made me look down was the way he walked in them. It was kind of like a very like a lurchy feeling. Sonny Bono shoes. And then not only that, when Sonny Bono arrived to do the press conference, by the way, Sonny Bono was a good dude. Like, here he was. This little guy. Hey, everybody. I didn't think I'd be drawing Sonny Bono here, but I got 7 minutes, so let's just do it. This is really bad Sonny Bono here. He also didn't like to wear suits too much, but he would put on like a jacket. It was the desert, so Just picture him with like a little bit of hair on his head. This is a very quick sketch of. This is a really bad sketch of. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting down to the shoes, right? Because there's something else I wanted to tell you about this story, which is funny. So not only did he have those platform shoes on that were like that. This is a little jarring, maybe a little bit bigger than that actually. So let's get in there a little bit, real loose. Not only did he have those shoes on, they were a little bit bigger than that. I feel like they were so jarring. When I looked down, I was like, what? There he is. He was also standing on a box in the grass so that he could reach this podium for like a news conference. It was so weird. Never saw anything like that. I was 14. There he was. Anyways, I'm supposed to be drawing shoes, and I just drew Sonny Bono news conference. So. I just looked it up, and they were only 2 inches difference, but it must have been wearing platforms as well. What's the size of her hair? Ah, yeah, this is politician Sonny Bono. So, like, I'm telling you, man, his shoes were like that. It was intense. Poor Sonny Bono. And then we got the, this kind of shoe they would draw a lot in old comic books. This dress shoe. So you'd have the little line there. Your toes are in this part. Another line there for like the laces. Another line there for like the, what should we call it? Those are real, basic. And then, just shading them in on the side would be kind of like just such a weird shoe to draw. Dress shoes. I don't know. I look down at people's feet a lot now whenever I'm out and about. Like if I'm people watching and I'm like, what kind of shoes are people wearing? And the majority of people are wearing tennis shoes. Depending on the situation that you're in. Even in offices, people are wearing, Nikes. And keep. Oh man, what do I do here? Look at all these shoes. Put these down a little bit. What kind of shoes do I want to draw? What's different here? What is different? Doc Martens, something like that. A little bit similar to those thick shoes there, those goth-looking shoes. But I used to wear Doc Martens a lot. They stopped being good. I guess people told me you got to buy the ones from Europe or from the UK because the ones that are made mostly here or sold in America suck. The soles come off real easy, like this part, right? Well, this part right here comes undone. So in this case, I'm just going to draw the basic sketch of the sole again, the shape. We definitely have like some separation on those rubber glue, and then we've got, of course, the chunks, maybe a little bit of pattern, and then of course the thing that makes Doc Martens kind of stand out is that like yellow stitching, orange stitching across the bottom. A little shine there. I was very sad that my Doc Martens kept falling apart suddenly. I was like, what happened? Like, I had a pair of Doc Martens that lasted forever, and when I went to go buy new ones, I was like, I must have got a fluke. And I went and got another pair, and they fell apart. And I was like, what is happening here? I wrote the company too. I was like, hey man, listen, they're not cheap. We got the I kind of put a little too much of a lot of a hump there. But again, the reason I'm kind of doing this is because I've identified fundamentals that I think all artists want to work on. Plus, other artists told me that they have trouble drawing shoes. And I'm like, that's something that I could use to practice that I normally wouldn't think about. Because you're just going so fast when you're drawing, or it's not the most interesting thing to sit down and be like, I'm going to draw shoes today. But I do have a book somewhere that's like a whole practice book of drawing shoes that came out. It was called I Draw Shoes or something like that. The Kickstarter a long time ago, I think. And there's shoe designers, there's a whole job that you can get to be a shoe designer. These aren't bad looking shoes, but again, it's just about practice. My other story that I could tell you real quick would be the Pearl Jam story. So I got Pearl Jam always behind me on the wall back there somewhere. Big Pearl Jam fan. 1993 Indio show. We were just asked this at work the other day about what was our favorite concert we ever went to. I'd say 1993 Indio, Pearl Jam. It's called the Shoe the Shoeless show. You could look it up here on YouTube. Indio 1993. The crowd was just dumb. The crowd was throwing shoes up on the stage and throwing clothes, trying to hit the band. And I knew what was going on because I was down in the pit. There were these gangs from Indio that would come in and get a cheap ticket to a show. And they would put glass on their boots like this. And somehow just sticky it to them. And they would come in to the mosh pits and mosh around. They were known to do this in the desert there. Indio is where Coachella is now, by the way. The Indio Polo Fields. Coachella before it was Coachella. They would put these glass things on their boots and mash around, and they'd hurt people, and they thought that was fun. So they were throwing shoes out, not their shoes, but people were throwing shoes trying to hit the band. The band stopped, and Eddie Vedder grabbed the shoe and started licking it and saying, "Oh, your dirt is my food." And he goes, "I'm going to stand at the front, and every person that's without a shoe on, I'm going to beat the shit out of you." But it was it was quite a moment to be there. It was one of the legendary Pearl Jam shows. The Shoe the Shoeless show. Eddie started putting on clothes that people were throwing up. He's like, "Somebody throw me a sweater." Yeah. For the longest time, people wanted bootlegs of that because no one had recorders or anything like that back then. But now there's a tape of it on the internet. It's pretty wild. Never been getting my girlfriend out of there because I was like, we got to get out of this pit. These guys are here to hurt people. It sucked. So there you go. There's a half an hour worth of shoes. I mean, I didn't draw that many shoes, but I think it's good practice, talking about shoes, talking about Sonny Bono today, and appreciate you guys drawing every day. And let's see the plug here. I forgot to do my plugs. Oh my goodness. I should do plugs, surprise you with the plugs. We have the Daily Drawing Club, and that is at dailydrawingclub.com. And daily drawing problems come out at 5 a.m. That's how Steph, gets those pretty early. Draws in the morning. I suggest you draw in the morning because you're getting it out of the way before you start your day. Here it's only 7:30 here. Technically, I don't have to start work until 9. I work a little earlier than that, but I still have some time to get some drawing done. And I think it's a good way to start your day, drawing every day and every morning. And I draw my day job is the VFriends comic strip, the daily comic strip. So if you check that out on Instagram or at VFriends anywhere, check out the comic strip that I'm doing. I do live streams as well on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. But yeah, please practice something. Draw a little bit every day, even just for 10 minutes. Keep yourself rocking and rolling, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for more surprises in the Daily Drawing Club. All right, cool. I will see you tomorrow. I'm gonna put on my outro music, and then I'm gonna do a little drawing for the thumbnail. Let's go. Thinking real quick. Get that thinking. Steady flow down. Guys.